I loved the theme when it first came up, which was uncharted reality. And, there is a clear challenge for educators today because the goalpost is moving. So we don't know what the world is going to turn out to be, and that's a very big challenge to have to prepare young minds of today for what lies ahead. They have to anticipate, and then they have to develop the curriculum, and they have to guide these young minds. So what a brilliant topic for the day. And I think my own talk fits in quite well with this uncharted reality. My topic today is ending the unfairness of the job search and job application journey and getting hired on your own terms. And I can tell you that the job search and job application process, this journey, is made by employers for employers. Now, that in itself is not unfair because candidates compete and the organization gets to pick the best of the lot. So that is just healthy competition. But the manner in which the hiring manager or the recruiter evaluates a candidate leaves a lot to be desired at times. And therefore, they may not do justice to the caliber of the individual that is appearing for undergoing this process. Now, see, being good at the skills that you will use in the job and being good at marketing yourself in that process, these are two entirely different abilities. And that was what started my own journey to evaluate the job search and job application process and break it down into its constituent parts. Because I wanted a job that would pay significantly better, where I could get hired on my own terms. It should provide excellent growth potential. It should provide harmony between my personal life and my professional life. And the satisfaction that I derive from the work should also be exceptional. The meaning and the fulfillment must tap into my creativity and allow me to do my best work. Now, I can tell you that I also wanted to get hired on my own terms. And what this meant was that I wanted a lot more influence on the process, a lot more control on the process with important variables such as salary, when do I start, how do I transition from one role to another, how do I grow my career, the perks, the incentives, the signing bonus, so on and so forth. And who I would report to, and could I actually grow my career in a strategic manner. So when I first changed jobs, I left a company that had an exceptional culture, but they were not the best paymaster. Their system's ability to reward the amount of value that I was creating was limited. And I wanted to look for another job primarily to improve the financial standing that I had achieved. Now, this process of finding another job took me about 5 months of time. It took 3 months of rigorous searching, job boards and different portals to look for the right positions, identify them, get into the job descriptions, so on and so forth. And then it took another couple of months to go through the interviewing process. So all in all, it was a journey that took a fair amount of time. And I got hired by this company after these 5 months of facing all of these inherent delays and anxieties, only to realize in less than 6 months of working for them that I am not a great fit into their culture. Now, I'm not blaming the company. I had joined them and it was my duty to learn how to fit into their mission, into their culture. But I was unable to bring about that kind of change. I had worked for about 5+ years, and in that time I had been given a tremendous amount of autonomy. But in this new organization, everything was hierarchical, and yet they were growing wonderfully well. So what they were doing was working for them. But 6 months into the job, when the company and I came to the realization that this is not the best place for me, they let me go. And my entire world came crashing down. All of the sacrifices that I had made, my parents that they had sent me abroad for education and then the opportunity to work, all of that was evaporating in front of my eyes. It was like somebody had hit me with a cricket bat in the head. I was so stunned, I didn't even know what to say at that point. And what do I tell my family? How do I run my life? So it took about 2 to 3 days for my emotions to settle down. And as per the law, I would have approximately 30 days to find another job that would give me visa sponsorship to work where I was in the United States. Otherwise, I would have to leave the country. I immediately started looking on the internet again, LinkedIn, Indeed, Career Builder, all of these different types of websites. I started looking for positions again, but I was not finding anything that was suitable. So at that point, I had been thinking about the job search and job application journey for close to 6 years. And I decided to abandon the traditional method and to use my own model. And when I use this model, I realized that this helps not only target positions that are published, that are made visible on job boards, but it also allows you to create positions where none exist. That was the uncharted part of my reality. And I can tell you that when I used this system, within 30 odd days, I was able to generate 4 job offers, and each one paid 3 to 5 times of the salary at which I was let go. So the entire process was revolutionary from the perspective that it puts the power back in the candidate's hands. And I can tell you, I was able to identify not only the most important needs of the organization that I joined, their most significant challenges and opportunities, but I was also able to get a much better understanding of the true ground reality of their culture before taking the decision to join them. Now, this is something you only get to understand after you join the company, because the job on paper and the job in reality can be two very, very different things. But this process allowed me to understand, will I really fit into this company? Because once bitten, twice shy. So it was with that that I joined this company, and within 8 months, I used the system again for a promotion. And then my salary doubled again. And then after 2 years of serving in that promoted position, I was appointed to CEO of their largest private label division. So this is a system that can be used repeatedly. And I can tell you today, my students have been able to generate offers from 27 different countries across 65 plus industries. So it is something that is tested across cultures, companies, various levels of experience, from freshers to mid-career professionals to senior leaders and C-level leaders. Now, I can tell you that at that point, I started helping friends and family who asked about how did you create this traction and this momentum in your own career. So I started helping friends and family, people who would reach out to me, people I would network with at conferences and other industry events, and it started to work for them. And soon that count had reached over 250 people. So I thought I was really on to something. And that is where I developed this as an online program. And today we have touched close to 300,000, 3 lakh lives. Now, the average offer is somewhere between 2x to 3x of their previous role and salary. Now, the reason this is important, and I'll tell you a couple reasons here. First, please understand that you're going to spend more hours, more of your waking hours at work than you are even with your family. And if you don't find that fulfillment, if you're not paid fairly, if you don't have the growth opportunities and the harmony between your professional life and your personal life, now I can tell you this is the biggest epidemic that is not being talked about. Because if you don't have meaningful work, it is impossible to be happy. So all of this is coming at a very appropriate time, because India is at a defining crossroads today. All right. According to Invest India, which is the National Investment and Promotion Facilitation Agency, we are looking at the most unprecedented scale and pace of transformation that any country has seen in the history of the free world. Now that's a pretty big statement, that's a formidable statement, but I'll tell you why. Since independence, since 1947, more than $1 trillion have flowed in foreign direct investment into India. Close to 60% of that number has happened in the last 8 years. That's a very significant chunk. Now, this investment has come in across 61 states and 61 industries and 31 states and union territories. This change is happening at the grassroots level. We today represent 20% of the world's middle class, and we are the youngest and most vibrant workforce in the world. We are 21% of the world's working workforce. We have 1 billion people under the age of 35, and the average age in our economy is 29. All of these people are going to require housing and infrastructure and education and healthcare and services and products and what have you. Now, it took us 67 years to get to become a $1 trillion economy, another 8 years to get to 2 trillion, and another 5 to get to 3 trillion. The run rate at which we are going, we are soon going to overtake Germany, which is the 4th largest, maybe by the end of 2023 or early 2024. And then it leaves 3 economies in front of us: Japan, China, and the United States. I sincerely believe that in the next 20 to 30 years, we have a proper shot at becoming the leading global economy in the world. But it's going to take discipline, focus, stamina, and consistently making excellent decisions, economically, socially, and yes, even politically. I think Indian citizens today understand that good economics has to be at the very heart of how we think, and it's more important than religion or ideology or what politics you support. The real hero of this story is not entrepreneurship. The real hero of this story is accessibility. Today, ordinary Indians in tier 1, 2, and 3 cities have the opportunity to access employment, entrepreneurship, and ideas like never before. It is an unprecedented time because technology connects the world today in a manner where proliferation of all of this momentum is going to happen at a rate that is unfathomable. We all know the history that India was the Sone ki Chidiya, the golden sparrow. I think that time to rise to that very top is coming up again. And that is where I'll end my remarks. The future belongs to all of you. Jai Hind.